Most people live on a lonely island lost in the middle of a foggy sea. Most people long for another island, one where they know they will like to be. Today we are making the Bali Hai from Kauai. And this is a Hawaiian tiki recipe that you have probably never heard of, or at least not this specific version of it. After I put this video together, I double-checked some resources and found another version of this drink shared in Beach Bum Berry Sip and Safari. And while the version I am sharing is similar, it's also quite different. The drink also has a connection to one of the most important pieces of media or culture to influence the Polynesian pop movement, South Pacific. Now, the success of South Pacific helped popularize and romanticize the view of the actual South Pacific that would in turn influence the mid-century tiki culture and the broader wave of tropical faux Polynesia in the mainland. Now, most of you are probably familiar with the Mr. Bali Hai from Bali Hai in San Diego, which is a drink of rum and either a coffee liqueur or blackberry, depending on which recipe from which time frame you choose to follow. But the usage of Bali Hai goes well beyond the Bali Hai in San Diego. The phrase became popular from the song Bali Hai in South Pacific, with the musical coming out in 1949 and the immensely popular movie adaptation from 1958, both of which were inspired by the James Michener book Tales of the South Pacific. Today's Bali Hai cocktail comes from the Hanalei Plantation Hotel, which was one of the first hotels developed in Princeville on the north shore of Kauai. And about a decade before the hotel opened, South Pacific was filmed in and around Hanalei Bay. Now, I'm not sure if it is still accessible today, but about 10 years ago, my wife and I on our honeymoon stumbled upon the incredibly easy and flat 2-mile round-trip hike that you can do off of the Hanalei Plantation Road with the old plantation ruins. So beautiful, and you can see Hanalei Bay off to the side almost the entire time, right where they filmed South Pacific. Now, in the 1800s, this area served as a coffee plantation, and then in 1862, it was converted to a sugar plantation. The owner at that time, Robert Wiley, hosted King Kamehameha IV and Queen Emma, and later on, he named this after their son, Prince Albert, which is how the area gets the name of Princeville. So in South Pacific, the mystical island of Bali Hai, which will whisper in the wind of the sea and call you to the special island, that island is not a real island. The naval base where most of the movie takes place has no name either, but is filmed in Kauai and in Hanalei Bay. And our mystical island, Bali Hai, that's off in the distance, well, the filming of that location is just about 6 miles west at Makana Mountain. Now, this recipe is much different than the other mid-century tiki drinks that we know of for a couple of reasons. First, we are topping this with some champagne. Second is that the base spirit here is rum and Okolehao, which is Hawaiian moonshine. Now, generally it's made from tea root and it's unaged. Okolehao was incredibly popular in Hawaii in the 1800s and the early 1900s, and then things changed, partly because of prohibition, taxes, and also Western influences that sought an outright suppression of native Hawaiian culture. It was seen as primitive and unrefined. Traditionally, Okolehao is distilled from tea root, which this bottle is, and I'm going to use this one, but you can always sub in another rum or even bourbon. Now, the Okolehao I'm using tastes nothing like rum or bourbon, but instead has like a sweet undertone and more aligned with a very hot, flavored vodka, which I say respectfully, it's kind of like a sweet potato-y flavor. Now, the reason you will often hear bourbon called to sub in for Okolehao is not because bourbon tastes anything like real, authentic, historic Okolehao, but when Okolehao production picked up again in the mid-century in Hawaii, they were not making it from distilled tea root. Instead, they were often taking bourbon and adding flavorings to them. Now, eventually, some of these even morphed into full-on liqueurs. Now, I'm planning on sharing more Okolehao cocktails this year and an entire video just on Okolehao, so subscribe here if you have not already. Now, if you are interested, in the United States at least, you can pick up a bottle of this Okolehao online, and it's probably the closest thing to the original moonshine Okolehao that you will come across today. Now, the recipe I'm sharing today is adapted from a recipe that I found in House and Garden magazine from 1964. It also calls for a Collins mix, which I am not using, and will instead use just some fresh juice and simple syrup, instead making ourselves basically our own Collins mix. So let's make the Bali Hai from Kauai. I'm going to start with 3/4 ounces of lime juice, 3/4 ounces of lemon juice, 3/4 ounces of a 2-to-1 simple syrup, 1 ounce of a light rum, and 1 ounce of Okolehao. We will save some room here, and we will top with 2 ounces of champagne. And then garnish as Hawaiian as you can possibly get. So there you go, the Bali Hai from Kauai. All right, at the top of this video, I sang you the lyrics from Bali Hai, from the musical and the film. But a couple years ago now, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I shared a video here on YouTube from Paul McGee at 3 Dots and a Dash called A Lonely Island Lost in the Middle of a Foggy Sea. And I think at the time I knew that there was a connection to the film or the musical South Pacific, but I didn't pick up that it was essentially taking the Bali Hai from the film or the musical, and then the version of Mr. Bali Hai from San Diego, which is a coffee pineapple drink, and merging those things together. So that's where that name comes from. So let us try the Bali Hai, the one from the island of Kauai. Cheers. It's delicious. It's refreshing. It is tart in a excellent way. When I turned 21 years old, which wasn't that long ago, 20 years ago, I went out and I got a bottle of gin, and I probably got the finest Collins mix. I loved Tom Collins. That was like the first drink I ever really got into, and I would share it with my friends and other people, and everyone was like, that's a grandma drink. I was like, no, it's not. Tom Collins is delicious. And then when I started making my own Tom Collins, I would do it this way, where I would take equal parts of lemon, lime, and then simple to make a homemade Collins mix. So it's very reminiscent of that, because the rum in here and the Okolehao are so light that you're really getting the lemon juice and the lime juice, and it's not too sweet, and then just lightness from the champagne, or in this case, sparkling California wine, and that is reminiscent of a Tom Collins as well, because you get that effervescence that you would normally get from a club soda. Now, many of us are used to these books that you find. They tell you what type of glass to put it in, and you'll find it in Trader Vic books or modern cocktail books. They tell you what glass to serve it in. But usually, if you're looking in an old newspaper or a magazine, they don't tell you the glass. This one was unusual because they said to use a brandy snifter, and I thought, okay, fine, I'm going to use the one that I like, which is a little smaller than the big balloon ones. This one, I think, only holds, I don't know if it holds 14 or 17 ounces. I think it's on the smaller side, 14. And I have links to it on Amazon. They might not even make these anymore. I like the sturdiness of this. It's not too delicate. But recently, over the last couple days, I've been rewatching South Pacific in lead up to this video with my 8-year-old. It took us like 3 days to get through it. I had seen pieces of it and knew some of the songs from the past. But there is what I think is the most iconic scene that I'll remember forever, which is this absurd drinking of cognac in giant brandy snifters on the point there in Princeville. Just sort of outrageous. And I did text that scene to my buddy Arminder from the Rum Revival to see if he would come reenact it with me, but he never responded. The more I'm drinking this, the more I think I'm picking up the Okolehao. So if you're using just rum, if you're using bourbon, I don't think I want bourbon in this. I think that flavor is going to overpower it. But if you're using another light rum or just another rum you like, that's probably going to impact it more. But I think the Okolehao just brings us lightness, and it's 100 proof. So it doesn't feel that way when you're drinking it in here. but it brings sort of heft for ABV, and then that undertone of, it's like sweetness, but not sugary sweetness. You know, like the non-sugar additive, whether it's a tequila or a rum, that just have like a delicious, nice sweetness to them. That's what I get from the Okolehao, which on its own is very hot to drink neat. So having it in a cocktail works here. Can't say for certain that this is not authentic and that they would not have been using real moonshine style Okolehao in the late 50s. Well, in this case, the early 1960s. But it is most likely the case that they were not using the Hawaiian moonshine kind of Okolehao when using something that was flavored. But I've had that bottle now for a while. I've been waiting to do an Okolehao video and haven't had the time or energy to do it, and I wanted to use it. Thought this is a great time. A cocktail that I'd never seen before from 1964. So the Bali Hai from Kauai. It is very good. I love it. It doesn't seem or doesn't scream very like tiki or even tropical, and it does feel much more like, you know, Tom Collins, but very light, very refreshing. I do like that addition of champagne. I'm working on another drink right now. I'm gonna take the rest of that champagne bottle and turn it into a syrup, and maybe I'll be back soon with that. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I do want to mention the South Pacific movie for a moment as someone who just watched it, and I finished it last night. So spoiler alerts ahead if you have not seen it. If you are someone who has YouTube TV, or maybe just YouTube in general, on YouTube TV and YouTube, I found the movie that I could watch for free, but I have YouTube Premium, which I think is the best money you can spend. If you're paying for subscription services, Amazon, Disney, whatever, the best money you're going to spend is the, I don't know, 13 bucks a month on YouTube Premium, especially if you watch a lot of YouTube. So I don't ever watch ads on YouTube. It's just not, it's not there. And every time I log into YouTube on like Safari or something and an ad comes up, it's like it's shocking to me. It's like, whoa, why am I watching ads? So I would recommend, if you love watching YouTube, spend a couple bucks. And instead of getting that bottle of regular Bacardi, just subscribe to YouTube Premium. But as I was watching the movie, it's some parts of it are like great. Like it's cool that everything is shot for the most part in Kauai, in Hanalei Bay. It's just like really beautiful. There are some scenes that are just weird, but as I was watching it, one of the main characters at the end of the film, spoiler alert, he dies, and they don't even like show it happen. And I was like, did I fall asleep? Like one of the main guys just dies, and the way you know is a guy on the radio says, "Oh, he's dead." And then they just show leaves being put on like one of the three main characters. And then the riff between, you know, the nurse, which I forgot her name, and the French guy, Debec, the riff happens because she is unwilling to stay with him because he was formerly with a Polynesian woman. She kind of mentions this racism in some way and overcomes it, so it's like a positive story, but like they couldn't be together because he was with a Polynesian woman at one point in time, and she couldn't have that. So I thought that movie was good, but the ending was awful. And almost like they just ran out of money or something. I don't know. So South Pacific, a big inspiration, and the book, and then the musical, and the movie, big inspirations that piggybacked on other things happening in that time to really push forward this fascination, this obsession with Polynesian culture, whether it was real Polynesian culture or the faux Polynesian culture. But if you haven't seen that movie, maybe watch the first half. Second half, fall asleep. But the first half, pretty interesting, pretty good. Some of it's funny, and you'll recognize a lot of the songs. So that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below, consider subscribing. And if you want to support this channel more, check out my Patreon page. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.
Our shore, sing, Hawaii, sing, sing with joyous heart.